Good afternoon, everybody. And this is part two of the Great Battle of Armageddon, the Jewish-Roman War, 66 to 70 A.D. The Bible speaks of it as times, and half a times, 42-month siege. The Great Battle of Armageddon. Write that down, the Jewish-Roman War. Most churches today are scared to death to even breathe any of this. Why? Why are they scared of this? Because if all of this happened back in the first century, if Matthew 24, which is where Jesus is speaking about his second coming, and it was dealing with events in the first century, then all of that's over. He's already come back. And here we sit in church week after week, and they're saying, it's getting close, we're in the last days. You see what's happening here? The churches don't dare breathe any of this. If they do, they're in trouble. Their people are going to start to wake up and go, oh my gosh, you mean this already happened? You mean this great battle of Armageddon's already taken place? The marriage supper of the Lamb has already happened, Matthew 22:7. The king is angry, sends his armies. God was angry or wroth. Retribution was coming on that generation. That already happened. None of the churches today will even talk about this. In fact, they've gone on the offense, attacking the preterists. You know, just look on this YouTube here. You're going to see all kinds of people attacking and saying this is heresy, this is dangerous. What's dangerous about learning the truth? Let's back up now. Let's back up, and we're going to go back to Matthew 24 and Luke 21, where Jesus is going to explain in detail about his return, about this great battle that's going to take place. See, Matthew 24 is about the destruction of Jerusalem. The second coming of Jesus Christ is called the day of darkness, a day of wrath. Luke 21:22, these are the days of vengeance, retribution, payback. This is Paul's version of the Olivet Discourse. 2 Thessalonians 1, the Lord... hold on just a little longer. He says, the Lord is about to return in flaming fire, taking vengeance. See? On those that were not obeying the gospel. God was going to use the Roman armies. 80,000 troops under General Titus to siege Jerusalem for 42 months and totally destroy the city and the temple. Daniel 9:26. The people of the prince will come and destroy the city and the sanctuary. This already happened. Christ has already returned victorious over his enemies. And he did it in the generation that he said he would. This is why the preterist view is so powerful. The Bible just explodes. And this view is not for everybody. There are a lot of people today that want to hold on to their presuppositions and their end-time madness. They're not willing to go back and look at the words of Christ, where Jesus said that generation would not pass, the one they were in. What's the context of Christ's second coming? They come out of the temple and they're admiring the beauty of the temple. And what does Jesus say? Not one stone would be left standing upon another. Desolations were going to come. See, on that generation. When did those temple stones fall? The 9th of Av, AD 70. Desolations came on that generation. It's over. All of those end-time prophecies in the Bible were fulfilled in the first century. Fleeing out of Judea, not one stone left standing. Gathering the elect from the four winds, and then the harvest comes at the end of the age, not the end of the physical world, the end of the age. Look what Jesus says. He said this. The disciples asked Jesus, Um, tell us, Lord, when will these things be? What will be the sign of your parousia and the end of the age? Not the end of the physical world. The end of the Jewish age. See? When the temple falls. See the context there? See how important it is to look at the words of Christ and the context? That's what preterists are always pounding. Audience relevance and context, context, context. What was the original intent of the letter? Who was Jesus speaking to when he was talking about his second coming? Was he speaking to you and I 2,000 years later? No. No, 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 no. Jesus was telling his disciples that they would see these armies surround Jerusalem. They were the ones that were to flee out of Judea. See? Back then in the first century. And it would all be fulfilled in that generation. Does it get any easier than this? Preterists kind of sit back now and go, my gosh, how come people can't see this? I mean, it's so obvious now to us, once you begin to understand that they were looking for this great event, the day of the Lord, the day of his wrath, coming on that generation 40 years later, the great battle of Armageddon, where General Titus, with 80,000 troops, would surround Jerusalem and breach through and desolate the temple. Just completely flatten it. It's amazing what happened there. And it's all recorded in history. Josephus records all of this. He was actually in the city during the siege, during the great battle of Armageddon. And he writes about it later when he's captured by the Romans. He writes about all of this in detail. So we have a first-hand description of what took place. The works of Josephus, which I think are the second most prolific works next to the Bible. The works of Josephus come in second to the Bible. Which, what does that tell you right there? How significant his writings are. See? So this great battle of Armageddon has already happened. Matthew 24 has nothing to do with today. Oh, it's going to happen again. Circular reasoning. No. Matthew 24:21, it'll be a time of trouble that has not been, nor ever shall be again. Look at those words for yourself. Those are the words of Christ. Nor ever shall be again. Doesn't say it's going to happen over and over and over like a lot of people try to wiggle out of. It's a one-time event in the last days, back in the first century, see? And that's already happened. That's over. It's already happened. The end of the age, the end of the Jewish age. And his presence, or his coming, was using the Roman armies to desolate the city and the temple. And this is Daniel 2:44. The fourth kingdom of Daniel was Rome, or iron. Anyway, we've got that worked out. This is the Great Battle of Armageddon Part 2. And we're going to go with Part 3, and then we're going to do a whole series on the Lake of Fire. And then we're going to go to Revelation 20. Part 1, 2, and 3. Alrighty. Great talking with you. Play this over and over a few times. Take some notes. If this is new to you, get a notebook and start writing this down. Do a Google search for Jewish-Roman War, Josephus. It's all there. All right. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next video.